In the far corner of my small town lies an old, overgrown hiking trail called the Silent Patch. The trail was once a popular destination for locals, known for its dense canopy of trees and serene views. Families would picnic by the small streams, couples would carve their initials into the bark of ancient oaks, and amateur photographers would capture the golden sunsets. But years ago, something changed. Whispers of strange occurrences began to circulate. Shadows that danced where there was no light, whispers carried on the wind when no one was there, and an unnerving silence that settled like a thick fog. Birds and insects seemed to avoid the area altogether. The trail earned its eerie nickname, and slowly people stopped visiting. Despite the rumors, my friend Rachel was determined to explore it. Rachel was the fearless type, always chasing the next thrill. She had a growing online vlog where she documented urban legends and abandoned places. "It'll be great content," she said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "No one's done a proper exploration of the Silent Patch." I wasn't thrilled about the idea. The stories alone were enough to make my skin crawl, but Rachel's enthusiasm was contagious. Besides, I didn't want her going alone. "Fine," I relented, "but we're not staying long." The day we set out was bright and sunny, a stark contrast to the foreboding tales. Armed with flashlights, a first aid kit, and Rachel's trusty camera, we parked at the trailhead. The entrance was marked by a faded wooden sign, its letters barely legible. Whispering Pines Trail. The air felt cooler here, and the trees seemed to loom closer together, their gnarled branches intertwining like clasped hands. The first mile of the trail seemed ordinary. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the ground. The faint rustle of leaves and the crunch of our boots were the only sounds. I started to relax, thinking the stories were just that. Stories. But as we ventured deeper, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew heavy, and the forest became eerily quiet. No birds, no insects, no wind. Just silence. Rachel noticed it too. She paused to adjust her camera. "Creepy, huh?" she said with a nervous laugh. I nodded, my eyes scanning the trees. "Maybe we should turn back." "Are you kidding? This is perfect." She started filming, narrating her experience. "Here we are at the infamous Silent Patch, where countless people have reported unexplained phenomena. So far, it's just a quiet forest. But wait, what's that?" She pointed ahead. At first, I didn't see anything, but then I noticed it too. A figure standing at the edge of the trail, partially obscured by the trees. It was tall and motionless, dressed in what looked like tattered, old-fashioned clothes. "Hello," Rachel called out. The figure didn't respond. It just stood there, its head tilted slightly to one side. "Let's go back," I urged, my heart pounding. But Rachel was already walking toward it, her camera rolling. "Maybe it's a hiker," she said, "or someone playing a prank." As she approached, the figure turned and stepped off the path, vanishing into the trees. Rachel hesitated, then followed. "Rachel, stop!" I shouted, my voice echoing in the silence. She ignored me. I had no choice but to go after her. The deeper we went, the darker it became. The trees seemed to close in, their twisted branches forming a canopy that blocked out the sun. I called out to Rachel, but my voice felt swallowed by the oppressive silence. Then I spotted something on the ground, her camera. The lens was cracked, and the footage was still rolling. I picked it up and saw something that made my stomach drop. The screen showed Rachel walking into a clearing where the figure waited. As she got closer, the figure turned fully toward her. His face wasn't human. It was a smooth, featureless surface, like stretched leather. Rachel screamed, and the figure raised its hand, pointing directly at the camera. Directly at me. I dropped the camera and ran, the sound of my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. Branches scratched my arms and face, but I didn't stop until I reached the entrance of the trail. I stumbled into the parking lot, gasping for air. Rachel was nowhere to be found. I reported her disappearance to the police, but they didn't believe my story. They searched the trail and found nothing. No footprints, no camera, no sign that Rachel had ever been there. Weeks passed, and the town moved on, but I couldn't shake the memory of that faceless figure. Then last night something happened. I woke up to a faint tapping sound at my bedroom window. I froze, my breath catching in my throat. Slowly, I turned to look. Standing outside, bathed in the pale glow of the streetlight, was a figure. It was tall and motionless, its head tilted slightly to one side. I haven't left my house since. I've barricaded the doors and windows, but I can still hear it. The faint tap tap tap, like a metronome counting down. It's waiting, and I know that if I look too long or step outside, I'll vanish just like Rachel. The silent patch isn't just a trail. It's a doorway, and once it notices you, there's no escape.